we are live and ready to go. Breaking down the Celtics and Heat post-game reactions. I'm just going to get my phone charger. But we are live. We are back. The Celtics just finished their first home game, and they just beat the Miami Heat. We're going to be here to break down, talking about everything Boston Celtics. Terrific players coming out of all the starting five guys. Really, really great to see that from the Celtics. Honestly, very, very sad to see the bench not do the greatest again, but the bench can definitely step up and do solid. We have 4 viewers. If anyone wants to type in chat and talk any questions, we can talk about the game. But yeah, the Celtics did phenomenal in their second game. I'm very happy from the outcome. They won. Why is ESPN not loading? They had terrific games from Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday on the offensive and defensive side, which is something that I'm very, very excited to see with the Boston Celtics, and very, very excited to see for the future of the team as well, as obviously they came out and performed great, winning 119-111, beating the Miami Heat. Very, very excited what I saw. The player of the game has to be Derek White. He put on a fantastic performance on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball, getting multiple blocks, making multiple threes in the fourth quarter. He was definitely the MVP for the Boston Celtics in this fourth quarter. Then when you look at guys like Jaylen Brown, he definitely stepped up from his first regular season game. He shot terribly and had to play more of a defensive and playmaking role, but tonight he definitely got the gears going. He was attacking the rim ferociously, getting putback dunks, getting good steals, playing good defense as well. Can't forget on that. But I really liked what I saw out of Jaylen Brown tonight. Kristaps Porzingis played a fantastic game as well, even though he fouled out, and it was tough to see that happen. Kristaps Porzingis, played great offensively and defensively as well, hit some big threes for the Celtics, didn't shoot the greatest as he did in the first game, and Jason Tatum obviously attacked them and played great as well. Jason Tatum is going to be one of the better players for the Celtics. Obviously, we all know that, but Jason Tatum is going to be a dominant force for the NBA. I said that I think he's going to be an MVP candidate. I think that he's definitely deserving of that. And I think tonight and in the last game, we can see how ferocious he is on the offensive glass, attacking the rim for rebounds. He's playmaking great. He's shooting the ball solid as well. I really, really liked what I saw out of Jason Tatum tonight. And a guy like Drew Holiday, who last game was defending, the Knicks' top 3 guys in R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, and Jalen Brunson for a majority of the game. Tonight, he had to do some defensive work as well, but he also helped out on the offensive glass and had a clutch bucket in the fourth quarter on a nice mid-range to kind of secure the Celtics on that run late in the end and keep them in the lead for the game. But let me know what you guys think from the Celtics game tonight. Comment down below in the chat and let me know what you guys think of the game. Did you guys like any great plays from anyone? Did you guys see any surprises tonight? One big surprise that I did see that I have not mentioned was that O'Shea Brissett was playing tonight, and I really, really liked how effective he was as the backup center. We did not get to see Luke Cornett tonight, which I know a lot of the viewers do not like Luke Cornett, but I think that O'Shea Brissett was very, very viable for the Celtics. He was getting offensive rebounds for the Celtics, which was really, really key and effective, as at that point in the first half, they were not getting offensive rebounds, and he seemed like an energy spark plug off the bench for the team, and he looked very, very solid in his first game after not playing in the New York Knicks game, and that made me very happy, as obviously I'm a fan of O'Shea Brissett as I saw him at Syracuse, and I think that this is good for him that he's actually buying into his role and actually getting a role with the Boston Celtics, as in the Indiana Pacers, he had a role, but he had to kind of develop it, and now he can kind of show his role with the Boston Celtics, and if he can play this small ball 5 for the Celtics, he can be an effective rebounder for us. Maybe Neemias Queta isn't the person that the Celtics necessarily need, and they'll actually be able to use O'Shea Brissett. Jalen won the game, and Jason was not efficient. Slightly worried about that. Yeah, Jason didn't shoot the best tonight, But Jaylen Brown also did not shoot the best last game, and people were hating on him, but now Jaylen won us this game. So, like I've been saying, every night one of the Jays is going to go off and be the X factor for the team. Tonight it was mainly Jaylen Brown working both sides of the ball, but last game it was more Jason Tatum. So the Boston Celtics definitely have some versatility on these nights and can have, multiple scorers go off. The Celtics starting five all had above 15 points, which is great for the Celtics. White is so dependable. Yeah, exactly. That's what I agree as well. White kind of, I said in the last post-game live, kind of embraced a nice Marcus Smart role, kind of being the hustle guy, making all these plays. He was getting a lot of key blocks for the Boston Celtics, and he definitely did not let down on that tonight as well. He was definitely effective on the defensive side of the ball as well as he was offensively, hitting those threes in the fourth quarter. And that's what kind of juiced up his points. Obviously, he was playing great offensively the whole night, but in the fourth quarter, he came alive, hitting multiple threes for the Celtics. I believe 4, I think, for the Celtics, which is crazy. Getting at least 12 points in the fourth quarter just off threes alone is great, especially from a guy that is kind of a little bit disrespected. We've talked about as well that he's not on the top 100 for the ESPN rankings, which was kind of solid, which was not solid at all. And me and Josh both thought that he deserved to be higher on the ESPN. We definitely thought he should have been top 100. He's definitely making that case this year already, playing perfect basically in tonight's game, and last game he had a valuable game for the Celtics as well. We have from Mr. Stay Fly, JB was clutch. Yes, JB was clutch tonight. Last game obviously not that clutch, but tonight definitely came up big for the Celtics. Very happy what I saw out of him, and I think that we should expect games where Jaylen Brown will take over the offense and defense like he did tonight. João Fernandez says, big win for the C's. Yup, big win. I'm so excited. Obviously, it's the first home game. They got the dub. They're starting out 2-0, which is great for a regular season for this team. Obviously, we want to be a contender. We want to start off hot. We've already started off hot. And the next game is versus the Washington Wizards on the road, which I don't know if I would consider it a layup, but the Washington Wizards did not really have a good performance against the Indiana Pacers in the first regular season game. Kristaps Porzingis is going back to Washington. Maybe he'll have some sort of revenge game for the Boston Celtics, and I realistically think that the Celtics could beat the Washington Wizards. I think it's like a 70% chance that the Celtics are going to beat the Washington Wizards on Monday. So the Celtics, I think, have a very high chance of starting the season 3-0, which is awesome to hear going into the season. We got Birkin saying O'Shea was also a pest on defense. Yes, he was. That's what I really like to see out of him, too. He's a very tenacious defender. He's very scrappy against other forwards and other bigs, and having him kind of be a small ball big might work out against some other teams as well. Like a team like the Heat where Bam Adebayo, yeah, he can stretch out and shoot a little bit, but you're not going to be seeing him at the three-point line the whole game. So having a smaller defender on him, playing him low in the post might actually be more effective for the Boston Celtics, because then they can't take the big Bam Adebayo just running out to the three-pointers or distracting to take the big man out of the paint. We got comments from Rob. Rob, thank you for joining back into this live stream of Celtics Digest. We saw you in the first one. White Bald bailed us out this game. Too many turnovers and missed free throws. Yep, the Celtics do have a lot of problems with turnovers and free throws. We've noticed this in the preseason with turnovers. They had rapidly ones, but I was expecting maybe they clean it up by the regular season, but it is something that we have seen. Missed free throws is something from last season as well. They definitely got to work on those free throws in practice and definitely get those down so that they can be effective in that game as well. Cody says, all games versus Miami have had a postseason feel to them based on the physicality and competitiveness. The feel just is always different to a Boston-Miami game, no matter what or when they happen. I totally agree. I think versus Miami Heat, the Celtics kind of have a little bit of advantage, obviously a chip on their shoulder. They went against the Miami Heat in both of the Eastern Conference Finals matchups the last 2 years. So they definitely have a little bit of a rivalry going on like they do with the 76ers and kind of do with the Knicks in the division, because they're all competent with them. And the Bucks definitely have a little bit of a rivalry as well. The Celtics have some rivalries with a lot of good Eastern Conference teams, but the Miami Heat one is definitely special. I would definitely say it ranks up there with the Philadelphia 76ers one. And the 76ers one has kind of cooled down because the Celtics have beaten them in so many years in the past. Birkin says, too many turnovers. Yeah, we have to cut those down. Exactly. I totally agree on that. Literally says they played like men tonight, not avoiding contact. Yes, they definitely attacked the rim. That's what I love to see. One thing about the Celtics in the past, and we've seen with Ime Udoka and what we've seen with Joe Mazzulla, is they play a little bit of iso ball. and they, prioritize the three a lot in the first quarter. I think that's kind of just Missoula's game plan, is just to shoot the lights out of the gym in the first quarter, regardless if they're going in, regardless if they're not, just to shoot the lights out of the gym. And if you can hit the threes and we can get a good rhythm running, then we'll have a big lead. If not, we have to catch up and play some catch-up basketball. But tonight, the Celtics absolutely attacked the rim. Jaylen Brown was attacking it hard. Jrue Holiday was attacking it hard. Derek White was. Even Kristaps Porzingis and Jason Tatum on those baseline plays down low where he's just doing the post, just making some nice moves on those defenders. I love what I was seeing out of Jason Tatum in the baseline and down low. I think he can be an effective scorer in the post for the Celtics this season. Yao says, Porzingis needs to stop jumping on every pump fake. Yeah, there were some jumps on some pump fakes that I did not like that I saw out of the Boston Celtics tonight, which kind of scared me a little bit, but I obviously think that they'll get used to it. They got to build some chemistry. They just got this team together. They got to unlock defensively eventually. And I think when we see 10, 15 games in, I think they'll be able to hold it down defensively for this team. Mr. Stay Fly. Remember Gallo said he wants revenge. Oh, yeah, that is true. Gallo does want some revenge. I do remember that. Gallo definitely will come out hot. Corey Kispert's a sneaky little shooter that they got, too. I know that no one really respects his name, but he's a sneaky little shooter. Jordan Poole, if he can go get electric. Tyus Jones is a good playmaker and defender as a guard. I think the Wizards, they're a bottom team in the Eastern Conference. They might be able to bring a little bit of a threat level to the Celtics, but I realistically think the Celtics have this one in the bag. Birkin says Jason needs to move the ball fast, like super fast. That way he can be more open and get the ball back. Yeah, I see him passing the ball pretty quickly. I know it takes some time to get into the rhythm of his shot, but I think that Jason Tatum just kind of wants to play in his zone, and he was kind of playing in that in the New York Knicks. Not really tonight, but he was still playing pretty good. I still think that we don't really need to hate on Tatum that much. Rob says, Miami gets away with so many grabs, holds without foul called, and by God, I counted 5 illegal screens on Bam, and none are called. Something in the NBA should crack down on moving screens. Yeah, the officiating in tonight's game was definitely rough. Birkin says that Jalen's left-handed layup is huge. He can go left. Yes, and Bam flopped a couple times. Yeah, there were a lot of flopping calls, especially the one with Tyler Hero. Let me know what you guys think in the comments on this one, but the one where Jason Tatum grabbed Tyler Hero, I thought that definitely was a flopping call. He definitely exaggerated that. There are definitely some flopping calls that should have went for the Miami Heat, because in that Knicks game, there were a lot of flopping calls that respectively, I don't think should have been called. I don't think that the Porzingis one should have been called, and then the Brunson was just called as just a makeup call. So I realistically think for the NBA, the officiating has been very, very whack. We've seen a lot of plays with the Miami Heat where also they went up for a lot of contested shots, and after they miss the shot, they get the foul call. That happens in the NBA a lot, but that was something that I did not like coming out of this game tonight. I was really expecting officiating to be a little bit better this season. Also, Bam Adebayo had one play where he jumped into Kristaps Porzingis, and Kristaps Porzingis did jump first, like we've talked about, where he needs to stop jumping. He did clearly jump into Bam Adebayo, but Bam Adebayo in the shot jumps into him as well, and I thought that the NBA was trying to get rid of the person jumping into the defender and it being a foul. So I understand that Kristaps did land into him and it should have been a foul, but Bam Adebayo was still trying to get the foul call intentionally, even if they wasn't going to call the defensive foul, which is still something that the NBA should be looking at as well. These players should not be trying to bait calls and trying to get the refs to give them free calls. The game should be played fair, and everyone should be having a good time. But let me know if you guys have any more questions about the Celtics post-game tonight, even questions about anything related to the Celtics season, relating to the bench. We saw some minutes from Pritchard and some minutes from Hauser tonight. Hauser, again, not the most effective. I'd like to see if Svi could get into this lineup in a couple games to see how he can do with the three-point shooting and see if he can perform a little bit better. Obviously, Brissett looked better than Cornette tonight, so I'm very happy that we had Brissett playing. Hopefully, we can see the small ball lineup with him being the small ball center now, or maybe see a mix of Queta, depending on how Queta plays in the G League for the Celtics. And then, obviously, Peyton Pritchard, not the greatest game, but he had a great preseason, and with the Celtics guards being pretty dominant with Derek White and Jrue Holiday playing really good, Peyton Pritchard didn't really realistically need to step up to the game tonight, and he still played solid. Yeah, hand on the waist was a flop on Hero's part. Lowry tried to flop 2 off a rebound scrum. Yeah, Lowry is going to be attempting those as well. He's going to be attempting to do those dives and stuff like that, just because it was, I don't know if we saw in the first game, but he did not perform that great versus the versus the Detroit Pistons. He shot terribly. Tonight he shot pretty decent, but he's definitely going to be trying to get some flop calls because he's not necessarily hitting all his shots respectfully. 3 ups for me this game. White, JB, Drew. Yep, I think that White played really good on offense tonight, played really good on defense. JB also played really good on offense and defense tonight, and Drew definitely played good as well. 3 downs. PP, Al, Hauser. When are we seeing Kata and Svi? I don't know, man. That's a question to ask Joe and Brad. I'm hoping that we get to see Svi maybe in the Washington game. If not, hopefully in Indiana if Sam Hauser doesn't play good in Washington. If not, we'll have to wait. Best player for the past 2 games has been D. White. I totally agree. I had Derek White as one of the top 3 performers in the last game. He was one of my 3 stars. Tonight, I have him as the first star, obviously. I would say that Jaylen Brown was probably the second best player for the Boston Celtics, with Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis being the third. Kristaps Porzingis kind of fouled out, but Kristaps Porzingis was playing a solid game for the Boston Celtics offensively and defensively. The fouls, he's something he needs to cut on. He's had 11 fouls in 2 games, which is a little bit scary, but some of these fouls, I will agree, aren't necessarily fouls that should have been called on Kristaps Porzingis. So in my understanding, I think that he should be caught some slack on some of these fouls because I realistically think that at least 2 of them in the Knicks game shouldn't have been called on him. But are you guys excited for the game versus the Washington Wizards? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys think that the Celtics are going to beat the Washington Wizards on Monday, or do you guys think that the Celtics will suffer their first loss? Like I've been saying, I think that they're going to come out. I think they're going to get a nice dub, and I'm very happy on how they performed in tonight's game versus the Miami Heat. Again, a tough competitor for the Boston Celtics. They have been rivals in the past recent years. They've been going at each other's throats, trying to get to the NBA Finals. Obviously, each of them getting the best of each other once. But the Boston Celtics definitely look hungry. Obviously, the Miami Heat look like a solid team as well in this game. So did the New York Knicks. But the Celtics look like they're on another level to me. They're looking like a top team in the Eastern Conference. I'm very, very confident in this team being either the 1 seed. Definitely confident in them being the 1 seed. But if they're not, they'll definitely be a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference and definitely have a successful playoff run this offseason or this postseason with their new additions of Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday. They've been very, very effective. Obviously, the bench needs to step it up, but if the bench does not step it up, then the Celtics might have to go out and get some players in via trade, the trade deadline. They might have to go and get another guard, or they might have to get another wing, depending on what is their need. Rob says, yeah, let's get the win versus Washington. I think it's been a while since we started 3-0. I don't necessarily know the statistic on that, but I definitely would really like the Celtics to start 3-0 at this time of the season, and it would be a successful season for the Boston Celtics. But we're going to be cutting this live short. We're just going to be going into the next video for the weekend. So I just want to let you guys know that for the Boston Celtics, we will be producing Celtics content here on Celtics Digest. If this is the first time you guys are tuning in, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll be doing post-game lives all the time. I want to do some lives during the game. If that's something that would interest you guys, let me know in the comments section down below. We can do some games while the game is going on. I can kind of commentate. We can kind of discuss the game while it's happening. If that is something that would interest you, let me know in the comments section down below. We'll get that thing rolling. But we'll also have some Celtics videos over the weekend talking about more Celtics content, basically breaking down these games. And if any news comes out, we'll be talking about that as well. The Celtics don't play again until Monday, so there will not be another post-game live until Monday. But we definitely will have a post-game Monday night, or we will do a post-game live watch-along. I'll post a poll. We'll have a vote. You guys can decide. I'm Bruce Velez. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this live stream. The Celtics start off the regular season 2-0, beating the Miami Heat 119-111 in their first home opener. It was a fantastic game. Thank you to everyone that came and talked in the comments as well. Thank you to Birkin. Thank you to Rob. Thank you to Mr. Stay Fly, literally, Yao, Cody. Thank you guys so much for chatting with me about the Celtics. I greatly appreciate it. Have a great